trying to get across in the coaching idea is that you really need outside help. It doesn't have to be a guru, some kind of super church planner person, but it is extremely difficult for one priest with no staff to try and take on all of this by themselves. Somebody who you trust, who is a Christian, that would help, and who is mature in the Lord, who is outside your situation, you've got to have, and we see so many priests, and that's one facet of our clergy leadership program, who are alone, who don't have any priest friends. If they do, they're miles away, and they don't have any kind of regular interaction with peers, so to speak. And it sounds kind of obvious, but it's just not done. You know, I know people are busy, frankly, and you need somebody. If you're in this situation, where your church needs to be revitalized, you need somebody who's not in your parish, who's outside, but who you trust and who's a peer and competent to bounce ideas off of, to think. Now, it would be helpful if that person had some training in coaching. It's not the same as a Christian counselor or a psychologist. This person is the idea is that you focus on your career and your, in this case, your church and your personal life, but it's not the same as Christian counseling. There's some nuances that I don't fully get. But the idea is you need some help outside of your parish and someone who is not completely enmeshed in all the conflict and controversies that you're facing. And I hope you guys, I know I'm a young squirt, but I've seen that in my own life in general, just, okay, let's get somebody who's removed from this situation. It's invaluable. And I don't think, if you don't think you need it, good luck. I mean, if you could just find a friend, you know, who's from seminary or wherever that you trust, you know, at the minimum, share your burdens with one another regularly. But it'd be really great if you could find somebody who does have some training. And that's kind of the idea, some principles we've been seeing is this clergy leadership program is about several things, but one is the personal life of the leader, and then we try to get them connected with small groups. Some of the small groups are great. We've got small groups of clergy in an area that are doing great. Some of them have failed. We can't make them meet. So the idea is to get help. Because nobody's going to do this alone. Goodness gracious, bless you. That was neat.
So just to kind of give you the big picture of what the AAC is doing, and then we really need to get into the assessment piece here. We've learned that you don't start with church leadership teams and doing seminars in the church about church growth. You start with leaders. We've learned that the hard way, and that's why we're investigating up front. We're front-loading in the Clergy Leadership Training Institute and in coaching the clergy. And then we take this material and we might come into your diocese or your region or whatever like this and do this kind of a seminar and want you to bring as many of your lay leaders as possible. Because we'd like them, the more people are exposed to this material and this process, the more they'll realize how important this task is and what's at stake. And you get more buy-in. And you'll address the issues of culture, which frankly are fatal to any kind of planning process if you don't address them. That's the other big thing we've learned. And then you get the coaching going, and you begin to move your congregation towards the point of health where they can actually plant a church. Big picture strategy. Okay? So that's kind of the bottom line. And in the process, we ask you all to support the AAC too, because we know you're given 10%. I mean, ideally, your people are given 10% to the congregation. The congregation's giving 10% to the diocese is giving 10% to the province. And we're coming in as an offering above your tithe and asking you, if you think this work is really critical, if you share our vision that this is absolutely where people are itching and it needs to be scratched, then put us in your budget at 0.5%. I mean, that's what seminaries used to ask you for, and you know what kind of product they turned out. I think we're doing a little better than the seminaries. So include us in your budget as part of your mission offering above and beyond your tithe at 1/2 of 1%. Okay? So that's kind of the big